Hello and welcome to Topham Chats, the show where I chat to various members of the Rooster Teeth community. My guest this week is Shelby. Hey Shelby, how's it going?
Yay, hello. I'm doing good.
Cool.
Yay.
Let's start off with a simple question. Rooster Teeth or Achievement Hunter?
Well, I would probably think Achievement Hunter.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Why Achievement Hunter over Rooster Teeth?
I don't know. It's probably because the whole company has a special place in my heart, but I started off, the very first show I ever watched was an Achievement Hunter show. And that's where I kind of got pulled into Rooster Teeth itself, is through the Achievement Hunter, kind of finding achievements and all their kind of comedy. So.
Oh, cool. I'm totally, on the verge of sneezing. I was just trying not to, but it's fine. So, I'll try and bear through it.
Alright. It's a struggle.
No, the struggle is real. Okay. So, you went to RTX this year. How was it for you?
I did. It was fantastic. So fun. I loved it. Got to meet a lot of cool people and even got to meet some of the people who worked at Rooster Teeth.
Ah, wicked.
Yeah.
What did you do when you were at the convention? Panels, meetups, other shenanigans as well?
Well, we tried to do panels, me and like a couple groups of different groups of people. We tried to do panels, but panels are so packed. So I got to go into the Ruby panel, specifically. That was really cool. I didn't get to really see much else other than that, as far as panels go, but we walked around a lot, got to talk to a lot of the exhibitors, and just kind of met up and hung out with a lot of other people from the Rooster Teeth community.
Ah, cool. So it was a lot of walking the convention floor.
Oh yeah. So my calves look fantastic.
Wicked.
Oh yeah, cool. So much walking.
Cool. More things about RTX. You just went as a convention goer, but not the Guardian. Did you speak to many of the Guardians at all, or were they busy, like you'd expect?
Yeah, it was one of those things where you on Rooster Teeth, you see a lot of people saying, like, oh, I'm going to be a Guardian this year, and I'm like, that sounds really cool, and it's like a lot of them were people I kind of wanted to meet, but I didn't really know if I could go up and say hi. But the people that I did get to talk to, that I just kind of talked to maybe in line or kind of in passing if I had a question, were super nice, despite obviously being so overworked or just kind of so tired and just so exhausted. But they still always had a smile on their face, which I find amazing. So.
Cool. Are you considering being a Guardian ever, or no?
Well, this is my first RTX, so I knew I didn't want to do it this time. It's not something I wouldn't want to do. I've never done anything like that before, and I think I would. Oh. Maybe not this time, but it'll be definitely something I look into more for next year, maybe.
Ah, cool. So, onto the, I guess, Achievement Hunter site or Rooster Teeth site. How do you interact with the community on there?
Mostly, I'll mostly just do, journal comments, or we'll talk through journals. Sometimes instant messaging, or not instant, I guess, the personal messaging. Yeah. That's mostly it. I tried going into the forums once, and I got so nervous. Because I've never talked to anyone through forums before, and I didn't know anyone in there, and I got really, really shy and really nervous.
Yeah, it can be a bit intimidating to just try and jump into the middle of what you perceive to be a conversation. And
yeah,
and people don't know. Well, everyone's part of the Rooster Teeth community, so they don't really have a problem with it. It's fine.
No, I know. The one time I did, I had one really nice conversation with this one person. Then it's there were so many people in the room that they just got lost and buried under everything else. So it was like, oh, okay. I'm just not used to it, I think.
Fair enough. So, being an Achievement Hunter fan, do you play many of the games that they play?
Not necessarily. I'm not gonna lie. I never really played much of Minecraft until they started playing the Minecraft Let's Play way back when to Minecraft episode 1. I was just as clueless as they were. Gavin looked like almighty, he knew everything. But yeah, no, like I started playing because of them for Minecraft, and like other things like GTA, we'll try some of their things to do, but not I don't usually go out of my way to play games that they have played as well.
Ah, cool. So what games are you playing at the moment?
At the moment, I play a tidbit of Titanfall here and there for funsies on the Xbox One. GTA still. I've been playing through Fallout 3 a lot, doing some more of the DLC again, because it's one of my favorite games ever.
It's one of my favorite games as well. Absolutely, it's so good. It's so well put together, and it's just
so much.
It's such a huge. Oh, that's awesome! It's such a it's such a huge area as well to explore, and you can play it, and you can just find new things all the time. It's just like, oh god, I've never been here before.
I know, and it's like I played this game like 10 times, but how have I never been to this area before? It's fantastic. I love it. So, kind of games like that, and if there's a free game, like I played Max the Cursed Brotherhood, it was free on the Xbox One. I played it, and it was like, okay, that's pretty cool. But yeah, as far as like games I'm playing right now, that's about it.
Ah, cool.
Still waiting on the other ones to come around, like Destiny and the new Assassin's Creed and whatnot.
Yeah.
Can't wait for those.
They should be good. You talked about Fallout and Max, the Curse of Brotherhood. How I've seen you stream them. How did you get into streaming?
Oh gosh, so streaming that's so interesting, because I never thought of ever streaming. Like I'm actually a really shy person. Like I feel like I never know what to say to people, and I get so like right now I'm even really flustered. I hope it doesn't show.
Yeah.
But what game was I buying? It was Child of Light. So I bought Child of Light on the Xbox One, and it was really cute. It was like $15, and it had a really nice art style. And then when I went to go buy it, I saw it said people who are streaming this right now, and I saw they had like one person who had 20 people watching, and I was like, okay, well, I've always wondered what it's like, so I decided, you know what, I'll set up the streaming, and I'll try it for my first playthrough of Child of Light. And I did. It was a pain in the butt to get set up on the Xbox One. No offense, Xbox, but Jesus. And then I streamed, and I had a ton of people come my first stream, and I was so just like, I don't know what to do with myself right now. Like, it's like humbling, and just, I didn't know what to do. It was amazing. And I just kept going from there.
Ah, cool. So, you're clearly very good at the streams. You engage with the chat, and yeah, everyone seems to be interacting with them. How do you perceive that your streams are going well?
For me, a stream goes well if I have people who stay. Like, it's amazing to me that someone can watch or listen to me, like, some people put it on in the background, and who can watch or listen for 3 hours, and that you can, because I have a list, I can see the list of people who are watching right at that time. For me, a good stream is, whoever knows how much, because it varies, I have a handful of people, and the chat's going wild. Like, that's what I love, is whenever I'm playing, and then there's just conversations happening, whether or not they're about the game I'm playing. Like, I'm interacting with them, they're interacting with me, we're talking about funny things that are happening on the screen, or just something about Rooster Teeth, because a lot of them are people from Rooster Teeth. So it's almost like a cool little hangout place that I love going to sometimes, and I get to play Fallout while I'm doing it.
Woo, Fallout!
Woo! So that's kind of like my ideal stream session, having a chock-full chat.
Yeah, having a bunch of people chatting, all going together, just occasionally commenting on what people are chatting about. It's like, yes, yeah. That's awesome. It's really, really
Exactly.
cool stream, like, when you do it. Like, I went to watch you one night when you were streaming Fallout. You started in, I think it was a library, and the stream cut out video-wise, but the audio was still on, and the chat was running. So it's just like, oh, just chat and listen. Like, not even watch the video. It's fine for me. Like,
I'm glad. I'm glad.
So it's like, oh yeah, I'll stick around. This is fun. It's a great way to like interact with various people in the community as well. Like, there's two people I've been chatting to recently that I've known from a group that I'm in, and we're just like, we chatted occasionally before, infrequently at best, really. But they just came along to someone's stream that they put on at the weekend, and I was like, okay, I'll just sit and watch this. They turned up in the chat, we chatted for ages, and just had a great time watching someone play games. And I could have I could play games on my own as well and just interact with the chat, and it's great fun.
Yeah, no, it's really, really fun to just sit there and chat. Because I've hung out in other people's chat rooms and stuff as well while they're streaming. And it's fun. Like, even if it's just me and them for, like, the first 5 minutes, you know, you're just sitting there getting to know each other. Just kind of, you learn a lot about someone whenever it's just, you know, they're just talking and you just comment every once in a while. And I've met some really cool people. Like, I not even just met, but got to know some really cool people a lot better through my Twitch stream. Like, even there's been 2 people in the community who actually joined Rooster Teeth, who were originally just Twitch goers, and they actually joined the Rooster Teeth community because they were in my stream and we wouldn't shut up about Rooster Teeth.
Oh wow, that's
and they were
really,
like, well, what
really
is
cool.
this? I know, and then, like, one of the girls actually messaged me, like, 2 days ago, like, Shelby, when are you going to stream again? I'm like, I know, I'm going to do it soon. So.
Yeah, so it all sounds like it's going really well for you on streams.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, you're really, really good at it as well. So, like,
thank you.
Definitely. Where can we find you on Twitch?
On Twitch, my name on Twitch is RT Shelby.
Okay, cool.
Like,
I'll put a link in the description below.
Thank you, my sir.
Okay, no problem. So, what else do you do aside from Twitch and Rooster Teeth things?
Oh gosh, other than like university stuff, I teach martial arts as well.
Cool. What kind of martial arts do you teach?
I teach Kinpo karate.
Okay, cool. What's specific about that kind of karate?
It's stylized, it's Americanized karate. Kinpo is not originally from America, but the style that I've learned and that I've taught probably came about to being about 50 or 60 years ago here in, I don't think California, but very, very western United States. And it's supposed to be a very close combat martial arts style, so within, like, you'd think elbows, but, like, within the way it's been described to me by my senseis and masters is that you should be able to defend yourself within a telephone box.
Ah,
or phone
interesting. That is a small space.
Oh, yeah. It's very quick reflexes, very kind of short combos to move on to another short combo. So there are kicks and stuff. Kicks are very important, but a lot of it is that kind of in the moment defending yourself in that small space.
Ah, cool. So what does your training typically consist of?
Oh, goodness. My boss is also, I say my boss, but my boss is my sensei because, you know, I work there, so I call him my boss. But yeah, so my sensei, we usually start training in a jiu-jitsu style because he's been training in jiu-jitsu for about 7 years now. So we do a lot of jiu-jitsu like some rolling exercises just to kind of mix it up a little bit. And some strength, like we'll do some strength exercises. A lot of times we'll do handstands and kind of like crunches from the handstand. Hard. Very, very difficult.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
And then from there, once we're warmed up, we'll go into like working on my karate moves and sometimes our katas. I actually learned some taekwondo katas as well.
Ah, cool.
For people who don't know anything about martial arts, that part of the conversation would be very difficult to have. Yeah. But kata is kind of like a pre-choreographed routine that you do, including blocks, punches, and kicks. So it's like almost like a dance routine, but with punching and kicking.
With violence!
With violence! So,
cool.
Yeah, it's not so strenuous. Like, I've noticed a lot that whenever you do martial arts, it's not a strength building. Like, it's not muscle building. There you go, that's the word I'm looking for. It's not, it's much more a lean style of athletics. So it's endurance. And just kind of pushing yourself to that just a little bit farther than you thought you could go. And there's nothing more rewarding than being exhausted beyond belief. My boss is punching me in the face while we're sparring, and then I take it to that next level and I'm able to like do it. That's like one of the most rewarding things ever.
Cool. So does that like push, like when you're doing that, does that carry over into your other life, like the other aspects of your life as well?
Very much so. Like I realized I've always kind of had a train of thought or a kind of frame of thought where it's very like martial artist way of thinking. And I actually did, my major in university is anthropology, which is a lot of the study of different people and their cultures and how people act within their cultures. And I found that there's actually a culture within martial arts, which is kind of that why they say it's like you learn martial arts to defend yourself so you never have to actually punch or kick anyone. It's like, so I find that through martial arts, I kind of, it's like if I can get through an hour of training, it's like I can get through this extra mile in my of running on the treadmill or running around around town. It's like it's kind of a good way to drive myself, to remind myself what I've already done. Kind of be like, oh, this is no big deal, even if I'm dying.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's something that's definitely carried over from me for training. Just like, oh, if I can do that and I can push harder, then I can push harder now, and I'll just absolutely go for it.
Exactly. Like my black belt test took 2.5 hours, and I had tell me about it.
Yeah.
And I had bruises all up my forearms and all up my shins, and I got through my black belt. It's like, if I can do that, I can get through this training session right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely, yeah. I'm like, oh god, I've pushed really hard, like in a 6-hour training session at Taekwondo, and I sparred really some people, well, everyone there's bigger than me. Like, all the adult guys are there, they're bigger than me. Like, if I can spar them for 2 hours straight, then I can definitely finish this run that's absolutely murdering me.
Exactly. Like, speaking of that, like, at my dojo, I'm the only one within my belt rank and kind of, not stature, but kind of, you could think of it as stature. So the only person I can spar is my master sensei. And that's the only person I've not ever sparred, but he's the one that I spar the most, and he kicks my butt every single time. Although he says he kicks my butt a little bit less every time. But it's so, yeah. He reminds me every day that I have more to work for, so.
Ah, cool. Yeah, something that I've noticed when I'm training, that everyone there might be bigger than me, but I can move faster than them, so it's okay.
Exactly.
But yeah, there's no one in my class that's in the same weight category as me and all the same belt. The only person that is the same belt as me that's been going through it consistently the whole way is like a 6'7" black man, and he's like a foot taller than me. I'm just like, he's huge, he's massive.
Oh goodness.
And he annihilates me, but I'm faster than him, so I can just move out of the way if he's throwing a big punch. It's like, this is fine. Crazy. Yeah, cool. So, I asked you before we started if you could ask me a question, anything that you want to know, anything at all. What is it? And,
I had a couple questions.
Okay, go for it.
Let's do just one, just so I don't get out of hand, because I have a lot of questions I could ask, but I'm like, oh, which one's going to be more interesting? For me, I was going to ask this is before I even knew that you did the 6-hour training. It's like, what's the hardest you've ever pushed yourself?
So there's been a few occasions where I didn't think I could do a whole thing. The 6-hour training is just a training session that we do every 3 months. But when I was in Singapore, I took part in something, the Taekwondo club there, called Ultimate Challenge. We started at 2:00 in the afternoon, and it's like, I don't know, ridiculously warm there because it's so close to the equator, and it was loads and loads of kicks, and my feet were already blistered before we even started because I ran on a track and I didn't wear shoes, and that's just how training was. So I strapped my feet up, and we started at 2:00. By 4:00, we'd ran a lap of the campus and done like hundreds of kicks. we then kept going, doing the same kind of things, different kind of kicks, and all these different techniques, running, and all these different activities as well, until about 10 o'clock at night. So we've been training for about 8 hours, and the last hour of training was just like press ups, running, just being absolute intense exercise. And like the last thing we had to do was break a board, and it was at the top of a really tall hill as well. So we started at the bottom, ran all the way up, broke the board, and I was like, oh my god, I'm so glad it's over. And at the end of that day, everyone was just like, that was such an amazing day, but I had to push so hard in the last hour to just get everything done. I was like, oh, it was so worth it. And it was a really good like community event when I was there as well. That was something that I really loved about Singapore as well. They have all the groups that they had were so community based. They would like, even in my lab, like people would be like, let's go out and grab dinner, because over there no one cooks, and it's like, let's go out and grab dinner every night. And yeah, there was always different people to go out, and it could be like, sorry, I'm training tonight, but tomorrow night we'll go out. Yeah. Anyway, I got a bit distracted. Another time I trained really hard, or I worked really hard, was there was a 10k run that I did 2 months ago now.
Yeah, I remember.
And yeah, I posted journals about it, videos about it. I was training my arse off to absolutely destroy it. And it was a 10k run with mud and water hazards. And it was tough. It was 2 laps of this course, and I went, and it was the first one that I was going to do, and I've booked the second one as well now. So I'm like, yeah, this is the kind of thing I like doing. And I got just over 1 lap done, and I was starting to feel a bit rough, and I was like, I don't know if I can do this. But I was like, I absolutely can do this. I've done it. I've done hard training before, so I better go for it. So I like looked up. It was like, right, I'm gonna do this. Absolutely went for it. The last 4 kilometers. It was a long way.
Oh my gosh.
It was like all muddy and sliding down hills and scrambling up hills that there was no grip on. And yeah, after 1 lap, I was like, I felt like I could have been done, but I was like, I'm going to do it because that's my challenge. And yeah, the last bit, there was a wall that I had to climb on that was taller than I am, so I had to jump, haul myself up, and just keep going. Got over that, and I was like, I'm so close to the end. Got to the end, was like, yes, this is great, and got through the end, submit my time, and went and sat down and promptly passed out.
Yeah.
Because it's so intense. It's like, oh my god, absolutely ruined.
That's amazing, though.
It was my first one, and I came 21st out of 160-ish people.
Wow.
Which was pretty good for a first attempt. But I got over, like, on the second to last obstacle, the water before the wall there was, I got overtaken by the person who was 20th. And, like, I saw them go through, because she was pushing everyone out of the way. She's like, no, I have to beat this other person. I was like, oh, God, that's a bit intense. So,
wow.
yeah, I was like, a bit scared of that. But, yeah, that was one of the hardest things I've done. But I'd like to push myself to the absolute limits a lot. Like, yeah, it's a lot of fun. I enjoy training a lot, but that's just me.
That's good. Not very many people do enjoy actually training.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I just like feeling active. And I'm like, yes, I can do things all the time. It's so much fun. And then, yeah, I'm like running outside at the moment because otherwise people at work are complaining because it's too hot, and they're just like, we need aircon on. And I was like, I can't really have aircon on because of problems. And I've been running outside, so everyone's just like, it's so warm. I'm just like, it's not that warm, really. I've been running outside, it's absolutely fine. And they're like, how are you not sweating? I was like, I train outside all the time, you should train too. And they're all just like, I'm just like, oh god. Oh well, I've talked a bit.
You know.
Cool. So, promote yourself away. You are found on the Rooster Teeth site at ShelbyG.
Yes,
Where else can we find you, and what else do you typically put out?
You can also find me on Twitter. I am RT Shelby there as well. YouTube. I actually don't know my YouTube. I think it's Savage Drama, which used to be my gamer tag on Xbox Live. SAVAGTRAUMA, whatever. I'll spell that correctly at some other time, hopefully. And then just on Twitch, how I said before, is RT Shelby. So, yay.
Cool. Right, that's going to wrap it up for this episode. Thank you, Shelby, for being my guest.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Absolutely no problem. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.
Yay.